Hey everyone, welcome back. For those who have watched my previous tutorials or videos, thank you so much and welcome back. For those who are new, welcome. My name is Paz. I'm crafting for mommy, and what I'd like to share with you today is paper weaving. For those who love Crafter's Companion like I do, and I know there's a lot of us, you most likely have gotten this huge blocks of paper strips, paper quilling strips that you can use for quilling. I think I'm being redundant. Yes, paper strips for quilling. So for those who are not familiar with quilling, quilling is a paper art form where you're going to roll up this paper, either roll it up using it to make paper flowers, which a lot of the dies for paper quilling are geared towards to, or simply roll this up as a strip and then shape it, thereby making a 3D artwork, using rolled paper that are shaped in various ways. I don't do quilling. I like to try. I have supplies ready on hand, even with the battery operated quill that Tree Birds released, and I know Anna Griffin had one as well, but to be honest, I'm intimidated in even starting it. So I love the colors of what I got, and there's so many of them. It's 400 piece each pack. So what I thought is that maybe we can do some wonderful backgrounds on our cards using paper weaving. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. So let me put this aside. This is an open, but this is the one that I opened yesterday, and the colors are beautiful. So each of this, I don't know how many each is. Hold on a second. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, so there's about 50 pieces of this per color, 1.5 inch wide. I want to use it as background on my cards. In my perspective, 1.5 inch for me is too big. I want to capture a lot of weave patterns. So what I did using my cutter is that I cut it into half. So now it became 3/4 of an inch or 0.75 of an inch each. Okay. Beautiful palette in here. I made certain combinations, like I made pink and white. Definitely, reminds us of spring. I also have, I think the good color combination is also purple and yellow. It's bright, and this is what we're going to use on the card that I'm going to make today. This is just reminds me of nature and the ocean and the sky. So sky blue and soft grass green, and this speaks Christmas to me, the holidays. So I didn't cut any this yet, because I'm saving this up for my holiday projects. Okay, so let's start. I've got 3 patterns to show you using this in paper weaving. And I already started some of them. So what you guys are gonna do, let's do this one by one. What you're going to do is to have an 8.5 or just any paper of your choice as backing. What I did is that I put a paste or glue across, and also vertically on my paper. Laid out the strips. So on this side I put all the purples, and on this side I put yellows. So when it comes to charts, so essentially your Y and X axis, 2 different types, one in 0.75 inch per strip. And this is the first pattern that I'm going to teach you, which is very, very easy and basic. It's just 1 under, 1 over, 1 under, 1 over, 1 under, 1 over, and alternating on this. So what do I mean by that? So this is over, right? So this needs to be under them. So I have 3 more strips to go here. So this is going to be over. Over meaning I'm talking about the yellow. So this is underneath a purple piece of paper. Then this is over, under, what am I saying? So this is under, over, under, be careful, over, under, over, under, over, under, and this. I think I destroyed one of these. Hold on. This is this. Yeah, so be careful, because the only thing that is glued at this point are the sides. And rightfully so, because if you're going to glue this across or all over the place, then you're not going to be able to move the paper to weave it. Okay, so I have 2 more strips here of purple that I want to do with you. 2 more. I think some of my glue seeped through as well. That's okay. We can make that work. Okay. Again, over and under. Over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. Got it? Okay. Last one. So this is supposed to be like this. So this is over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. Hold on. Why is it the same pattern? This. Let me just fix this. Slide. There you go. There you go. Okay. Do it again. And then in here, this will now be under. Under. Over. Under. Over. Under, over, under, over, under, over. Alright. There you go. It's okay for this not to be 100% lined up, particularly the edge, because if you are going to use this for backgrounds, I suggest that you'd make your die cut in the middle, just so you're not going to see this border. So let me glue this, because this is what we're going to use. The way that I will do it is that I'll just, hold on a second. I see something that is not right. No, I kind of just destroyed it, but that's alright. I'm not going to use that. All you need to do is to pour glue on it. And then we will set that aside, because this is what I'm going to use. Okay? Cool. 1 over, 1 under. 1 to 1. That's all there is to it. Next. Isn't this beautiful? It's so soft. Very nice for very feminine cards. So I have, again, towards the end, to do this with you. So the pattern here is 2 over 1 under, 2 over 1 under, 2 over 1 under, and then 2 over. The only difference though is that rather than doing that consistently across the grid, why don't you offset 1 step or 1 space to the left? Just so it's going to be diagonal when it comes to the pattern. So rather than 2 over again on the second line, why don't you do 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and repeat at the same time. So when you alternate the 1 and the 2s, the 1 and the 2s, this is how it would look like. It really looks like a basket weave, right? Okay, so let us do it. Okay, so this is 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, and the start of a 2. And then this one needs to be 2. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 under, and 2. Okay, let's do it again. Have this strip. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Did I do it right? Why do I feel that this is the same? Hold on a second. Yeah, I did not. 2 and 1. Then 2 and this. Nope. Here. So let's double check. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Yeah, it needs to be like sliding. This though is 3 rather than 2. I'll leave it the way it is at this point. I think there's plenty of space in here that I can use for a card background. But if not, what you do is that you pull it out and do the same, okay? Same thing. Generous amount of glue. And there you go. Third and last pattern. Okay. So this, rather than 2, 1, 2, 1, this is 2, 2, 2, 2. 2 over, 2 under, 2 over, 2 under, 2 over, 2 under, and also on a staggered basis, similar to what we did on the second pattern. Okay, let's start. So I again have remaining strips here that we can do together. So 2, 2 over, 2 under, 2 over, 2 under. Okay, again. Come on. Okay. 2 under, 2 over, 2 under, 2 over, 2 under, and last strip is over. Okay. All right. Okay. Next, second to the last. This is going to be then, so this is already under, right? This two. So I would then do, yeah. I want to have 2 over, 2 under. 2 over, 2 under, 2 over, remain is under. Okay. I don't think I want to do the rest of this. I have plenty of space to use this up. Okay, the same thing. Put some glue on. Okay. I didn't use my collal. I just used the, a usual school glue, Elmer's glue. The reason being is that if I'm going to die cut on this or to emboss, then eventually inked it, I don't want it to be so rigid to the point that it's not going to go through the embossing machine, or the embossed image will not really see through. So just enough adhesive would be good enough. Okay, so recap. Easiest, 1 over, 1 under, 1 over, 1 under. 1:1. Second easiest, 2:1. 2 over, 2, 1 under, 2 over, 1 under, 2 over, 1 under. The most important thing is that you need to stagger your starting point. If you got 2 over, then put 1, the other color first as your point number 1, and then you do the same, just so it's a little bit slanted or indented. Okay, 2 and 1. And then this one is the 2 and 2. 2 over, 2 under, 2 over, 2 under, 2 over, 2 under, staggered it as well. Okay, so I bet there's going to be so much fun that you guys will have in using that these strips. I like it. Look at the color combination. So I could already see a lot of cards and backgrounds and even scrapbooking that you can use for this. Okay, so let's set this aside. I want this to dry because I'm going to die cut on this, you know, at a later time. So while we are waiting for those to dry, I need to do some inking on the background of my card. We're going to have a medieval scene on this card. It's a fair, medieval fair, and I wanted to make sure that I have a good good colors to demonstrate that I have the sky, I've got the horizon, and then I also have the grass portion of it. Let me just put you guys closer so you could see. So this is, you know, a stamping card. I use the Spectrum Noir stamping card that they sell. Those are fabulous. And then I also use the Stampin' Up Whisper White cardstock. I'm going to use Distress Oxides today, and some of the, you know, ink applicators. All right, so let us then do first the sky. So this is Distress Oxide Salty Ocean. And circular motions. Circular motions. Now that's too strong. I need to make sure that we apply this evenly. My line is too harsh, but you know what I'll do? Since this ink reacts differently with water, I will have the means to at least remove those harsh lines later on once we've got the water involved. Okay, so that, then I want this is fossilized amber. I want this to be the point of the meeting point of my sky and of my ground. So we're going to put some of this, just a little bit, thin line if needed, on this side. So pretty. By the way, when you guys are inking your work like this, be mindful of the color combination that the two inks that you're putting side by side will come up with, because you don't want to come up with brown if that's not your intention, right? So there's a lot of information where you could see color combinations. So like this, blue and yellow equals green, and just make sure that you are comfortable, or at least you're knowledgeable when it comes to those kinds of things. Otherwise, you might need to repeat your project if you're not happy as to what the color the two ones will produce once they mix or meet. Green. We have cracked pistachio. Then I have, what I do is that I don't have an applicator for each color, but I do have the foam for each color. So just make sure that you have a way to identify it, or at least within the same color family if you don't have enough, just so you're not going to cross-contaminate your ink. Okay. Pistachio. Let's see how this looks like. Ooh, so pretty. Super pretty. Super pretty. Ah, okay, a little bit more on the edge. More of the yellow. Just want to blur out. Ooh, so pretty. This one drives me nuts. Gosh, I need to fix that. But it's pretty, isn't it? Huh. Okay. Okay, I think that's enough background coloring for now. Again, salty ocean, fossilized amber, cracked pistachio. Now the magic. So spray bottles, you know, you can get this everywhere, but what I did is that I don't like the spray bottle that you press and then it squirts. I want continuous flow of the liquid or of the water, simply because it makes a difference in terms of how much or how the water droplets will land on your paper. Okay, so I got this from Harmon. It's a beauty supply store, less than 10 bucks, so quite cheap. So look, so we'll leave it at that for now, because it's supposed to, I mean, the property of the distress oxide is that it's supposed to oxidize or be brighter once you add water into it. And I kind of like this, kind of more of like a watercolor type. So we'll set this aside because we need to get going with making our cards using die cutting machines and also some of the stamps that I used. Okay, so let me just set this aside for now. Okay, so this, you know, last year, for those of you who subscribe to Hero Art's monthly kit, you most likely guys are familiar with the castle kit that they have released last year. This is the original kit, and it's so cute. I'm thinking that this can easily go well with the Anna Griffin Castle die. It's so pretty, and it has so much witty sayings. For example, welcome to the Middle Ages. Yeah, that's a birthday greeting that you only give the person you're extremely close with. Because it's a little, it's snarky. I like this too. Happy day of thy birth. A little bit old English you know, flavor in there. You rule, you slay, and so many medieval characters in here. You've got the king, you've got their tent whenever they're on the ground, either on battle or whenever they're on a fair, which is the scene that we're going to do today. You have the Merlin, you have a dragon, a jester, you have someone who is practicing archery, there's a unicorn, and there's you know, a few of these knights in different forms or in different poses. And then you've got the king and the queen. It comes with a full set of of dies that you're just gonna cut out, you know, the perimeter or the sides of this stamp. I have it on the other side of my table because we're gonna die cut what I've stamped and colored in earlier. So I'm putting this in with this because I put my dies on a magnetic sheet all the time. Look at the packaging. You know, this pattern is Florentine. You're gonna see a lot of paper like this or patterns like this in Florence. They do have beautiful paper companies there, and I always enjoy getting a few of my, you know, a few for myself. This is what lines the castle walls, because Renaissance, you know, started in Florence, and that's the height of art, of sculpture, you know, during those times. Sponsored by the Medicis. Okay, so this is cute, but on top of that, there's also a lot of add-on to this particular set. So one of these, and by the way, I think it may still be available on Hero Art's site, but if not, I've seen some of these at joanns.com, and you can easily, you know, you could easily buy this on a discount. Anyway, everyone is always on sale at this time of the year. Okay, so it has an accompanying images like this, which we are going to use. It also comes with a die, and then it accompanies these kinds of die cuts. They've got the pennants, which we are going to use today, by the way. I am going to cut the paper that we've woven into this. So let me just see. This is the card that we're going to use. Let me just see how big how big I want it to be. I think this is too big still. Yeah, I think this would be good. And then it also comes with this. Comes with this that you're gonna hang your pennants into, right? So we're gonna use this today. So let me just set this aside, and we're also gonna do some embossing because I would like the use of this. Or is it fleur-de-lis or yeah, let's do the fleur-de-lis. Will it fit? Hold on. Nope, it's too big. So let's do the crown. Yeah, the crown is exactly a good fit on this. We'll mount that. Okay, so let's do some die cutting. Set this aside. Set this aside. Yeah. If you hear my floor clicking back and forth, just because I have another table. I've got two tables here in my craft room, and the other table is where I put the materials that I'm working, and I keep this relatively clean. Okay, so let's do this. I am going to cut it here. Okay. Yeah, here. And I'm going to bring my trusty old Cuttlebug with me. Hold on a sec. I think I've lost. Okay, here it is. I thought I've lost one of the pennants. Okay, one of the die for the pennant. So this is my trusty Cuttlebug. I like it, especially for simple die cutting like this. I don't want to bring out my Gemini and set it up. I love my Gemini though. Hold on a second. Okay. Stuck. Go. I love my Gemini though, as I was saying. I usually put it whenever I do batch die cutting. Okay, so A plate, B plate, the usual sandwich, nothing significant. The magnetic cutting mat, I have the Anna Griffin one, and then my material. So let me just cut this because it's not gonna go through. It's too big, and at this point it's okay to cut. Okay, it's up to you if you want to use this or toss it aside. I am going to keep it for now, and we'll check if I can do something about that. So here it is. You guys can see it, right? Yeah, there you go. Let's do it second pass because my paper, the one that we paper wove, is quite thick, and I want to make sure that it is cut crisply. It may fall off of the backing because on this part I don't think I have glue that I put in here, but that's okay. We can adhere glue on it once it comes out. Okay, we can set this aside because I want to assemble this first before we do the other ones. Look, 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 look. Okay, so let's, careful with the washi, careful with the washi. You don't want to pull out your paper. Okay, careful. So this, okay, cool. So yeah, here you go. Let's just put some glue in here just to make sure we are not going to, just to make sure this things that I wove, it's not gonna go anywhere. Okay, be generous, because remember, what you're adhering is paper strips. You don't want to have a loose weave. Okay. Okay, I'm just lining it up. There you go. Just lining it up, and whatever it is that seeped through, I will clean that later. I just want this first to be very dry. Okay, now let's clean up this desk. Okay, we'll set this aside because I need that later, and let's cut the rest of the stamps that I actually used. I already did it earlier, just so I'm not gonna spend 2 hours creating the card while on video. So let's just get this cuttlebug again. Let's see, okay, yeah, just so you guys can see. And then the same thing, we got the A, B plate, magnetic. These are the things that I cut. Look, I would need this lion on the pennant. Have a king. Let's put that in. I colored it, by the way, with a Wink of Stella pen, just so you could see. It's so shiny. The king would need to wait because it's the same die as the queen. The queen in a red dress. And I've got the whole cast of characters on a medieval fair. I've got the lady who does archery practice. There's the jester. There is a lady. I'm assuming that's the princess. And you have the knight. And let me show you the rest. I've got the knight mounted on a horse. I've got some pennants, which will need to tent. I did 3. And then you've got the pennant, the Merlin, and the I'm not sure what you call this in archery, but that target that they usually shoot. So, okay, so let's do this. Now, you don't need to do second passes on this. This is pretty simple dice. All it does is to cut the perimeter of your image for convenience. So you're not going to be stuck with cutting it, or fuzzy cutting as they call it. I hate fuzzy cutting. I think I told you that on the previous video, right? Here. Cute. Okay, let's put this aside, and I'm gonna use this for my king. Where's my king? Okay, let's put that aside later. There's a few of those that I need to reuse. And then this is the lion. Whoops, sorry, I'm out of focus there. Set this aside. And I'm careful with your dies. My suggestion is either you have a bowl on your craft room where you put this in and then organize it later, or you just organize as you go. Okay, you don't want to lose that. Then this is the knight. Just put that in. Where's my knight? See. Cute. This is the princess or the lady. Cute. I think you're gonna hear me say cute over and over again until I'm done with all of this. Cute. The lady who's practicing or doing archery. Cute. Okay, let's toss this small paper aside. These are trash that you can't easily reuse because it's too small. And then let's do the rest. So where's my king? Where are you, king? There you go. So it is the same die as the queen. So all you need to do is to line it up, and it lines up perfectly. And then put washi on it and cut. Cut. We'll do the knight. We'll do the 2 knights. What else? I think okay, let's do this one, the pennants. Because I need that pennant to rerun some other things that I have. Oops. Hold on. There you go. Sorry for the shaking. My desk shakes whenever I run this Cuttlebug. Okay. You got this archery target thing, which I don't know the actual. Oh, this is the Merlin. Merlin. And look what I did is that I used Wink of Stella on the stars on his robe, on his hat, and also on his wand, the tip of the wand. This is the pennant. Oh, it's a little bit crooked. I don't want to use that. Good thing I have 2 more. Okay, and then you have the archery thing. Again, set this aside. Set this aside. Now it's time for us to get the king out. Come on, my king. What am I doing? Oops. The king. This is the knight. Ooh, I like this. Look how gorgeous. And I made his spear and his helmet shiny through the wink of Stella pens. By the way, I used my colorista to color these. I didn't bother with too much shading because the space is so tight, but the colorista is so convenient because since it's so tight, colorista has a very fine tip. Look, so for those who are HSN craft lovers like me, this was sold a couple of years ago, I think. The good thing about it is that it's really for adult coloring. So the nibs are very fine. So this is the nib that is a little bit more of like your brush broad stroke. Very good for flicking or coloring large spaces. But this is where the money is. This fine nib is very good for images as small as this. You can do the color transitions, the blending, but in this case I didn't bother because I have enough elements on my card, enough images to give you know, color, and it's so tight I don't want my colors to get murky. Okay, so what do we have here? So we need to have the pennant. There you go. Because good thing I colored 2 more. Because I was thinking I've got 3 tents. I want each pennant for each tent, but now I'm going to rethink composition of my card because now I only have 2. Okay. So this is one. Look at the tent. The final knight that I want to cut. Look how cute. Toss that. The pennants I will set this aside. I've got 1 more to cut, so almost there. I've got 1 more to cut here and 2 more of the tents, and we're ready to assemble. So for things like this, if you're new to stamping, whenever you have dies like this, it's very easy to just line it up. Just follow your image, the lines of your images, and it usually is sized perfectly for it. Look at the small images or the part of your images like that, just to make it accurately aligned. Okay. Okay, almost there. Almost there. There you go. I'm done with those pennants. And 1 more of this tent to do because I'm using 3. It's a medieval fair, so it's not enough that you've got 1, right? You could just imagine that that on a big field there's so many of this around, and there's so much activities going on. Okay. There you go. There you go. Ooh, let's not forget, I need the pole for the pennant, and I want that on gold foil. Oh, let me just get some gold foil stuff here. Okay, I've got some gold foil cardstock in here. I usually buy bulk things like this from Create and Craft in the UK. They always have different sizes, different configurations of metallic mirror papers like this. And it's so convenient. It's super convenient for me. So I want to use, remember this? The one that will hang on our pennant. So we need one. And we also need one for this tiny thing. We actually need two for this. So cute. It will all make sense once I assembled it. We need another one of these. Let's just put one here. Okay. And this should be the last of our die cutting. There you go. Okay. Let me just get this out. Get this out of the way so that we can assemble. You need to assemble a card. Now look at what happened to our background. It's pretty. Sorry, you always see me like doing this because I'm bothered whenever there are bits and pieces like this on my desk. OCD needs to be okay. All right, I brought you guys closer just so it's easy for you to see what I'm doing in here. Okay, so look at our background. Nice, isn't it? Okay, so before doing that, I was initially thinking of embossing this in gold, but I think with a pigment ink it is okay not to. So let me just get my gold pigment ink from Anna Griffin. Or you know what, maybe let's emboss. It's better if we emboss. And all I want is this particular stamp, the crown. I just want it to be in the middle of the purples. So for those who are new, this is Versamark. It's water ink. It's a watermark stamp pad. Essentially what it does is that you're not gonna see it easily in here. It's a watermark, but it's sticky. So if you are going to use embossing powders over your paper, this is the way to go. So let's put that aside. Even those that are only half, I want that to have something. Okay, I think we're good on that. Don't forget to clean your stamp. You don't want Versamark to dry in there. It's just messy. I don't like messy. Okay, paper. Gonna do some embossing. So while that is open, you need your heat gun. And I have my old Martha Stewart heat gun here. And I don't think, let me see. Let me figure out where I'm going to You know what? I may need to emboss on the other table because that's where my electrical outlet is. Okay, so, but essentially I'm going to pour powder in here and then heat set it with this. And you can see that we're gonna have a raised image. Okay, always have paper with you because there's going to be a lot of excess powder in here and you wanted to make sure that you put it back your jar. Okay. Well, mine isn't crisp, but that's easy because what you need to do is only to brush it off. I didn't use my static powder, and that's why it is like this. So don't emboss right away. Clean. Take off the excess. You want your image to be crisp. Okay. Okay. Excess is back or being put back on the jar. That's it. Okay, so I'll pause you guys for a while I heat set this and I'll be back. Okay, so here you go, I'm back and this is how it looked like. So cute. Now this is embossed with gold powder. It's not perfect, but next time we'll make sure it is. All right, so let's then assemble our card. I think this is going to be cute. All right, where's my trusty, I know you'll see it, collage? Okay, let's do this. So this is a 5x7 card, of which I cut the layers depending on how I want it to look like. So this is like a deep purple color, and okay, let's make sure. Okay, my background made out of distress ink, distress oxide, super pretty. Okay, there you go. Now I need my dimensionals or my foam adhesives. And I'm gonna use again the small ones that I get from Stampin' Up. It's the mini dimensionals. It's so small, so it's convenient for adhering our small stamped images later. Okay, so this is good. Now let us do this before we adhere this, and I want this in, see, I want this here so the scenes can actually play out on this side. Oops, I think my layer became crooked. This is what's good about glue, is that if you had the mistake of not having it crooked, you have time to correct it. Okay, so but before we do that, we need to adhere this first. So this goes here, right? And yeah, this goes here and then towards the end, but this is too long, so I'd rather that we cut it, because I want to make sure that these two are the ones that will hold it into place. Okay, and the other end, come on. Okay, this will be here. Can you guys see? Sorry, I'm out of camera again. So what I did is that through a dimensional or an adhesive foam, I just adhered the tip of that to the other side. So it would look like this, and this is the part that you adhere here, right? Like that. So let me get my tacky glue. Let me just do one more here. One more on this side. And of course, when we do this, we also want it to be woven, right? Weave. Okay, no, it's not gonna work. I think I cut it too short. Okay, let's put in a dab of my tacky glue, very strong glue on this. There you go. Dab of tacky glue in here. And let this be the one that would hold on my banner. Right? You know what I'm gonna do? Let's do this first. Okay. I want this to be on this side because I'm gonna use a lot of real estate on the other side like this. Again, to make my scene. Okay. Can you guys see what I'm doing? Oh yeah, I think you can. Okay, there you go. So let's just put that for now. Okay. Okay. All right. There you go. Now I have 3 of these. So these are all the things that I have. I'm gonna use all of this on this side. So what I want to do is that I do have this from afar. Okay. One needs to be flat. I'm gonna use my tacky glue for this. I want one to be flat. Way up in there. So it would look far. Okay. This I'm gonna mount on an adhesive foam. Okay. Somewhere in here. Okay. Then this, one of my main images, I colored it differently because I want it to stand out as the tent for the king and queen. So we get the bigger adhesive foams, so it's easier to pop this up, and then a small one on the tip. Okay. Almost there. Go. Okay. Now, where's the king and the queen? The king and the queen, I want them to be seated here in the middle. This is gonna be fun. I want king to be here, just so he's also near his banner and also his coat of arms. And then the queen needs to be popped in as well. Oh, I'm so sorry if you guys keep on seeing me struggle with these adhesives. I don't have long nails. Sometimes it's a struggle. Okay, all right. Now, big element. This lion, I want it right here. You know what? It's so fun to play with stamps like this where you can build a scene, and I'm sure if you guys have this, you have built far more beautiful scenes than what I'm showing you today. Go to Pinterest. I don't have the name of this particular stamp set at the top of my head, but I'm gonna go back to my receipts from Hero Arts where I bought it, just so I can give you the exact name and you can check if it is available. All right, so I want this lion to be right there in the center. What do you think? All right, the knight is here. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to use all of these things that I created today, but you know what? I'm going to save it up if we're not going to be able to use it, because I'm going to do another tutorial using these stamps, but next time, which I think I'm going to upload it this week. We're going to use one of the new edgeables of Crafter's Companion, and I'm going to create a Beauty and the Beast scene. You know, the rose, all I can think of at that time is Beauty and the Beast. Oops, let's scoot him a little bit far out because we don't want him to. Okay, so there you go. So let us then put, oh, it's so, okay, we're gonna use that. It's pretty because it gives a pop of color. So as I was saying, yeah, I mean, stamps like this usually come in a suite, or there's when Hero Arts actually have what do you call that, have released this, they do have the main kit, which is primarily what I used in here, and then there's a lot of add-ons, and the add-ons are this pennant, this this lion, and everything else. There's, I think, 3 or more other sets, and it's all so pretty. Okay, put it in here. Oops. Okay. Okay. Yep, and I do have another one that we can put somewhere in here. And I like the sentiments too. It's witty sentiments, with an old English kind of flair. I really like the happy birthday or welcome to the Middle Ages, but I'm only gonna use that for my best friend. Otherwise, if I use it for people who are I'm not that close with, they might think that's how snarky I am. Which I can be sometimes. Okay. There you go. There. Alright, so who else? Well, we're gonna have the court jester, of which most likely is boring the king and queen. Off with his head. I hope not. I hope they don't say off with his head if his strokes are corny. Because otherwise, if I'm during that time, then I will not be a court jester at all. I might have just started the joke, and I've already been put in the dungeon. Alright. Where would you like to make your jokes, Mr. Jester? There you go. Who else? I kind of like this. So these are the ones that I have left. I've got this two. I have this. I got this. And I got this. So this is doing her archery in front of the king and queen. I mean, usually in medieval fairs, there should be archery games, right? And I love that it is being represented by a fine lady on this stamp. So it's important that we put her in. Okay, should be the same level as Mr. Jester. Okay. So the king and queen. Okay. Just want to make sure it's not misconstrued that this lady is firing off her arrow to her and his majesty. Alright, so we'll put this in here. So where do we put these creatures then? We can put this here. The lady in here. It's likely that's her boudoir. Yeah, I don't know where to put Mr. Merlin. I want to cover this up. I think it will be best to just use this. My lady. And the rest, we can use some other time. Okay, I want her coming out of that tent because that's her tent. I want him to go there. Ooh, yeah. They're gonna go on a date. Okay. Yeah. I think that is it. I mean, I'm not sure if this warrants for this to be here. Does it? It will distract it too much. I think this is fine. So we're not going to be able to use this too. But at least now we have it. So let's just take the clutter aside. And just make sure. Ta-da! Look at that. It's so fun. See, could you ever imagine that those are quilling strips? Perfect. Okay, so use those. I am excited to see what you guys make out of this quilling strips. Tag me, please. Tag me on Instagram. My Instagram is at crafting_fur_mommy. Or why don't you go to my Facebook, Crafting for Mommy, and post the pictures of what you guys have done using this technique that I showed you. All right, well, have a good one. And thank you so much for tuning in. Bye.